So welcome everyone to another edition of MHQ's Podcast 101, where we are doing the second part of last week's focus on who the key parties are in a foundation. If you recall, we have been focusing for almost 2 months now about talking how foundations are impacted, the way assets are structured, protected, passed on to the next generation in the UAE and in the larger region, and helping people navigate legacy planning and intergenerational transfer of assets. We have touched on them from multiple angles, and today we are looking at two of the key parties that are involved in the control and benefits of a foundation. I will evidently not do that by myself. I'm joined by super associate Celia Titouni. Celia, good morning.
Good morning.
And today, as we mentioned, we are going to look into two of these parties. So as a reminder for everyone watching at home and scoring, this is how a foundation looks like. It really looks like a company. It can hold asset. It has bylaw and a charter. It has parties. So it needs to have someone that sets it up, create that spark, the founder. It also needs to have people that undertake the ongoing administration, the day-to-day management. These are called the council member, akin to a director in a company with a little bit of more fiduciary duties. And what we're interested in today is the beneficiaries, people that actually benefit from the foundation, and this weird person on the left-hand side, the guardian, akin to a protector in a trust. That's what we are going to talk about later. But now let's focus on the first party that I'm interested in, the beneficiaries. So Celia, let's put it simply. Definition of a beneficiary with respect to a foundation.
In simple terms, a beneficiary is a person, whether individual or corporate, who benefits from the foundation. That means the assets, but also the proceeds generated from the foundation. The founder would decide on the designation and hierarchy of the beneficiaries, as well as their rights and entitlements.
Okay, so it's a little bit like a shareholder in a company. So here we know there is no shareholders in a foundation, but yet we have this founder who is the one that decides to set up the foundation. So can he, the founder, providing he's an individual, be one of the beneficiaries?
Yes, he can. He can be the only, if he wants, beneficiary during his lifetime, where, for example, the foundation is created for succession purposes. And after his passing, he's usually substituted by a previously defined secondary beneficiary. Alternatively, the founder would be able to outline only certain features in respect of how the family members would benefit.
So we can appoint and remove beneficiaries over the life of the foundation. This can be predefined by the founder, but in practice, how does it work? Who appoints and removes beneficiaries over the lifetime of a foundation?
Yes, absolutely. So you can appoint or remove beneficiaries during the lifetime of during the life of the foundation. The founder has wide discretion powers when it comes to the appointment of beneficiaries. The only statutory requirement is that you need to make the appointment to have it specified in a defined or definable manner. If included in the list of reserved powers, the so-called reserve powers, the guardian would also be able to validate or refuse a council's request to add or remove beneficiaries, as well as amend the distribution entitlements.
So you touched on the reserve powers of the founder. One of the fear of many people when they set up a foundation or trust structure is losing control or to actually keep some rights. So we have seen in previous episodes that a founder can keep substantial control over the foundation over its lifetime and control it day to day. What about beneficiaries? Do they have some rights? What are these rights?
So no, they don't. They don't have rights or interest over the foundation's assets, which stay and remain the property of the foundation. What they do, however, have is proprietary rights, including in the receipt of benefits and information about the economic status of the foundations. They also have rights of an administrative nature, such as, for example, taking action against and hold the foundation council liable in case their interests and rights are infringed. The rights who arise from the beneficiary status are specified in the constitution documents of a foundation, and they can, at the founder's discretion, be very limited or deliberately extensive. A beneficiary would also be able, by way of writing request, to seek limited information about the foundation.
I see. So it can be very broad, but usually is not necessarily, and I would guess that the further you are from the founder, then the less rights you will actually have, rights to data, possibly claim information, etc. Okay, so that gives us a good idea. Maybe just to finish on this, a beneficiary has to be an individual, or can it be a structure, or maybe another foundation, a trust? What is your experience being able to advise your clients on this?
Yeah, so as explained during the definition, no, it does not have to be an individual. It can be a corporate entity as well. So depending on the specifics of the founder, he will be able to reflect his wishes in that respect with the freedom given in appointing beneficiaries.
So yet again, a lot of flexibility on the foundation front. That's clear. Now let's jump to this fourth party, and perhaps the one that is the most misunderstood, because he's not necessarily a member, the founder and a member of the family. He's not necessarily day-to-day. He's not necessarily benefiting. So this guardian, this mystery figure, so what it is?
Yeah, so as you said, the guardian is a little bit like a protector in a trust. Appointing a guardian is voluntary as long as the founder is still alive and the foundation does not have strictly a charitable object. The minute the founder passes away or the foundation has one or a specified non-charitable object, then you will need to appoint a guardian, at least in relation to that object. Maybe I can expand a bit on his role in the foundation as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the role of a guardian is generally to oversee the conduct of the foundation's council with respect to management of the foundation. The guardian would be a person whom the founder have trusted to monitor the proper fulfillment of the objectives and to protect the interests of the beneficiaries. So typically a family member, a friend, or a professional advisor. The guardian can also be one or several individuals or a body corporate.
So mostly a supervision and monitoring role rather than a day-to-day admin role. You touched on this right now, but I want to dig a little bit deeper on this, is who can be appointed as a guardian?
Yes, so anyone can be appointed as a guardian, including the founder. But there's one rule, which is that the guardian cannot simultaneously be a member of the foundation's council. And that's for obvious reasons of separation of powers. And in that respect, I must add that that's where engaging professionals to act as guardian can be a good option. So first, to guarantee the separation of power, and second, to also ensure a high level quality of council supervision, obviously because of the obvious expertise and knowledge of succession planning strategies and asset management and protection that would be provided by professional and independent third party.
Whenever you drop the word professional advice suggested, I always think about responsibilities, because it often goes together. It is wonderful to play an active role in a fiduciary structure, but one needs to understand the rights and responsibilities. So what are these with respect to a guardian?
So for the guardian, the responsibilities are clearly defined and simple. So the first one would be to monitor the activity of the council, to demand, keep, and retain accurate accounts, but also to take reasonable steps to ensure that the foundation carries out its functions. His specific duties have to be defined in the foundation's constitution document, that is the charter and the bylaws.
I see. And that's for the responsibilities. What about rights? Can the guardian keep any?
So yes, he can. He can have what we call the reserved powers that would be passed on by the founder when there is no surviving founder. Just a non-exhaustive list, but some of these would include, for example, approving or disapproving certain actions of the council, being able to change the beneficiaries and amend their rights, entitlements, and restrictions, but also appointing and dismissing council members. That's an important one. One last example would be to be able to take the decision to migrate a foundation, so from a jurisdiction A to a jurisdiction B.
I see. Any additional key consideration with respect to the guardian position in a foundation?
Yes, something important to note for whoever is listening is that, as you can see, the guardian is able to retain a large amount of powers via the reserved powers. So one must keep in mind that passing substantial powers to the guardian may affect the place of central management and control of a foundation. So you should have a balanced approach when you appoint a guardian and when you decide on which reserved powers you want to pass on.
So here you have it, the four corners of a foundation. Again, there's no shareholders, but there's multiple parties that interact. It is not rocket science, as we try to demonstrate. It is reasonably simple, but one should be aware of some of the rights and responsibilities of taking all this position. And hey, this is why people are here to advise you. So feel free to contact us if you want to know more about how foundation work and its benefit. Next week, we will actually deep down on the various regime available in the UAE. There's not one, there's not two, there's three: Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Ras Al Khaimah, because of course everyone needs three foundation regime in one country. So we'll go into this and see which one is suitable for whom and for what. Until next week, thanks a lot, Celia.
Thank you.